Hello, my beautiful duckling. Welcome back to the garden. This is Susie, your Swan Queen, and today I want to talk to you about getting your ex back. But first, I want to explain why I have the nickname the Swan Queen. Swans symbolize love. They symbolize harmony. They symbolize balance. They are the ultimate sign for a loving relationship. After all, most of the time we see swans, they're in the shape of a heart. But they also mean transformation. And because I am so good at transforming relationships for my friends, my family, my clients, I got dubbed the Swan Queen. My grandfather, when I was little, used to call me his little duckling, which is why I call you guys my duckling. I used to follow him everywhere. The only book he would let me read that was Disney was The Ugly Duckling. So of course I grew up to be a beautiful swan. In being a beautiful swan and a Libra, I have to balance. And swans mean love, loyalty, balance, harmony, peace. They're graceful, they're beautiful, but they're very transformation. When we want to transform a relationship, you want to get your ex back. You have to transform your relationship. And you want to do it in a way that is beautiful and graceful, like a swan. Which is why I come at teaching you guys differently how to get the love of your life back. I hate the specific person name. I hate the ex, because you're putting these guys on a pedestal and you're saying they're out of reach. Nothing is ever out of reach. But there's actually two main steps in transforming your relationship with your ex. The first step is you have to change your story. You have to absolutely 100% change your story. And when I say change your story, I truly mean you need to get a pen, a piece of paper, and you need to write out what that story is. If you cannot do it mentally, get that paper and write it out. You want that relationship to be romantic. You want that relationship to be loving. You want to be appreciated. You want to be respected. You want them to do their share of the work in the house. You want them to be good with the kids. You gotta know exactly what new story you are creating. And in creating that new story, you don't have to make it complicated. The love of my life is an amazing person. He's loving, he's respectful, he's appreciative, he spoils me rotten, he's always doing nice things for me. You cannot walk around, and I cannot say it enough, my ex is an ass. I love him and I want him back, but he's an ass. You can't do that because you're keeping that old story alive. And if you don't change the story, it's like not putting on makeup. I'm still beautiful. I'm still gorgeous to look at, but I didn't change anything. When I put makeup on, I go from being Norma Jean to Marilyn Monroe. You have to create the love story you want. You must change that story. Those people that I've helped over the years, because I've been helping people for 20 years. The last 6 years, I've been doing it professionally. And all of the people that I've helped, only 3 have not gotten back together with their person. Some of them haven't stayed together with their person because they'll change the story enough to get with you, but they won't keep that story going. They think, I'm with you, I don't have to do it anymore. So once you change your story and you know what you want to create, so you have this person, your ex, and you want him back. And your new story is, the ex is the love of my life. I'm the love of the ex's life. I'm the love of my ex's life. He loves me. My ex loves me. You want to lose the name ex, though. You really want to say their name, which is why I pick on poor Jared all the time. So if I'm changing the story, I'm going to stop saying the ex, and I'm going to say Jared's the love of my life. I'm the love of Jared's life. I am the love of Jared's life. When Jared looks at me, the whole world knows he's in love with me. It's that obvious. I'm changing my story to what I'm creating. So if I'm creating a new story that I'm the love of his life, of course he appreciates me. Of course he loves me. Of course he wants to be with me. Those are given. But not when we're recreating our stories, they're not. So when you are in your relationship with your ex, a lot of people tell me, well, I always had to text first. I always called first. I'm the one who scheduled dates. I'm the one who scheduled time together. He really didn't do anything. Well, now you need to create him doing anything. So that comes in your new story. He's always calling me. He's always texting me. He's reaching out first. A relationship is not effortless, and it shouldn't be 100% in your head. But it has to become natural for it to always show up in 3D, which is why I tell you guys, why am I spoiled? Why am I happy in this relationship? If you want a relationship to be loving and happy, you have to talk about how your relationship is loving and happy. And the second thing you need to do, change your questions. You're always questioning what is going on in the relationship. Why isn't he texting me? What is he doing? Is there somebody else? What does this mean? Well, he said this, and now I'm going to go run 20 million things in my head on a different story because, again, we're creating stories about what the meaning of this phrase is. If he says I'm busy, to me, that totally pisses me off. I have friends that were vice presidents of multi-million dollar companies that did the paperwork for mergers for the federal government, and if I called or text, they would tell me, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back in a little bit. Or, is it important? I'm in a meeting, can I call you later? Absolutely, I'm going to respond. But if you text me, you're busy. Busy doing what? Ignoring me? Because that's what my brain's going to think. Talking to somebody else. I don't care if you're a fireman and you're on a fire. If you didn't text me within 5 seconds saying I'm at a fire, I'm not going to get mad. But if you text me, I'm sorry I couldn't talk, I was busy, you already took the time to text me. Create the, hey babe, I was on a call, couldn't talk. You don't even have to tell me what the call was because you're a fireman. That could be somebody having a heart attack, it could be a fire, it could be, I don't know, somebody stuck on the toilet. Because trust me, firemen get those calls. If you're an EMT and you are taking somebody and transporting them from one hospital to another, if you're driving, you can't text. Don't actually expect your partner to text me because that's not his job. If you're a cop and you are sitting there doing paperwork on a case, I don't expect you to 30 seconds text me. But when you text me, if you say I'm busy, we flip out. So we can't do that. We gotta ask the question, why does he always tell me to the best of his ability what's going on? If you're protecting the President of the United States, you can't tell me I'm walking to Air Force One. You can't tell me I'm at Camp David all the time. If you are an FBI agent, you can't tell me about your cases. If you are doing a merger or working on some high-tech thing, corporate espionage is a thing. I understand. But most of us don't live in that world. So when you're asking a question and he says, sorry, I couldn't message, I was busy, you shouldn't be flipping off. You should literally be saying, well, what were you busy doing? Well, I can't tell you. Well, they better be an EMT, a fireman, a policeman, military, because I'll tell you what, I used to answer phones for a living. Military guys do have to be careful where they tell you they are. But I would ask, because Susie's nosy, where in the world are you today? And they would tell me if they could. Well, I can't tell you that. I understand. Are you at least staying safe? You can still have a conversation if they can't give you that information. If they're a doctor, they can't tell you about their patients. And these are jobs that I'm not picking on, but these are jobs I'm telling you, if somebody has these, they have legitimate excuses as to why they might not be able to tell you information. So you have to change your questions, and I'm using those specific jobs to change the questions for you guys. Because if your guy is a cop, he can't always answer his phone. He can't. He can't always text back. But if he makes it a priority to text back, he's not going to tell you he was busy. He'll say, I was in the middle of something. I was on a call. I was doing something job related. Well, can you tell me about it? No. Okay, I'm good. That's all we need. And when we change our story to he's communicative, he's open, he's honest, she's telling me what's going on in her world. But if you're going to tell me that you work at a factory and I text you and you don't answer, and I text you 3 days later and you still don't answer, and I'm like, is everything okay? Oh, just busy, busy, busy. I know your shift. We all do. And somebody else that I know who works at the factory messaged me, like, everything okay at work? Why? Well, you know, the dude I'm dating that works with you says you guys are busy, 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 and he can't talk. And he'll just start laughing. Like, they'll just start laughing, and they'll be like, yeah, no, the guy's blowing you off. You gotta change your questions, because you don't want those scenarios. You want the scenario that says, why is he communicating? Because if you're in a relationship and you're married, or you're unmarried and living together happily like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, you are simply sitting there saying, you know, he loves me, he's communicative. Oh, he's always texting me. He's always calling me. He FaceTimes me. It's amazing. We have this very open, communicative relationship. Because I know people who are in a relationship and they're like, my boyfriend never answers the phone. He never calls me. He never texts me. I'm always reaching out first. Well, your question. How is it that he's calling me? How is it that he's texting me? Why is he always calling and texting me first? Why is he always reaching out to me? Why is he telling me as much information as he possibly can about what's going on in his life? Because if I am not communicating with you, I'm not having a real relationship. So if you want your ex back, the two things that you literally have to do is change your story to we have this amazing relationship. I don't know how we have this amazing relationship, but we do. How is it we have an amazing relationship? Why do we have an amazing relationship? That is changing the questions to create that amazing relationship. We're going to go through this step by step, and we're going to build that relationship to the dream life that you want. But for starters, today's homework, in your little book, get rid of the ex's name and start putting in that book the love of my life, Jared, whatever you want to name him. If you want to give him a cute little nickname, Snoopy, I love Snoopy, my Swan King. It doesn't matter, but if you're calling him the ex, you're also keeping him the ex. So change your story, and let's start taking that story and creating questions that we can easily ask throughout the day. We know I love blanket manifesting, because if I'm talking about the fact that we have this absolutely amazing relationship, then I'm also talking about good questions. Because naturally, those are the two things you're doing all day long. So if we tweak them and change them, we can create that amazing relationship for you simply and easily. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you. Subscribe, hit the like button, and tell me what you're changing your questions to, because I want to know, and I'll help you tweak it. And the clicker.